All you gamers out there, we have some good news today. If you're done playing the same old monotonous games, why not try something a little more challenging? With AI technology revolutionizing the gaming industry, the Nvidia RTX takes ray tracing to a brand new level. As the hype for Nvidia RTX goes through the roof, we thought we'd give you the deets on the top games that utilize ray tracing the best. Starting with Metro Exodus. Let's kick things off with a fan favorite. The Metro Exodus events occurred in 2036 as a few thousand people who managed to escape the nuclear destruction of Moscow looked for shelter under the city's ruins. The survivor battles several hazards, including toxic environments, mutant animals, and supernatural terrors. You take control of Artyom, a man who must escape the metro and guide a band of Spartan Rangers through post-apocalyptic Russia to the east in the hopes of starting a new life there. Based on the works of Russian novelist Dmitry Glukhovsky, Metro Exodus is a dramatic tale that unfolds over a year. With ray tracing, you may get a much clearer view of the destroyed buildings in post-apocalyptic Russia. Next, Quake 2 RTX. Everyone understood that Quake 2, a legendary first-person shooter from 1997, would serve as a tech showcase for ray tracing when it was confirmed for the game. It was still very well appreciated despite all the chaos. Adding such stunning, realistic lighting to the original game has made Quake 2 seem better than ever, and people can't get enough of it. Plus, the addition of RTX visuals breathes new life into the experience, even if the character models and textures are still as old as ever. After years of being the exception, playing Quake 2 this way is the norm suddenly. Keep in mind that even this game requires an RTX card. Even the most powerful computer would grind to a halt with less, but the experience is top notch. Moving on, Battlefield 5. The audio and visual presentation of Battlefield 5 is on par with previous games in the franchise, and RTX improves it even more. To demonstrate the capabilities of the new RTX graphics cards, Nvidia utilized graphics from Battlefield 5, making it the first game to include ray tracing. RTX is a great addition to the Battlefield series, full of amazing moments, stunning visuals, and sound if you can turn it up. Our fingers are crossed that DICE will include ray tracing in the next games. What do you think? Following up, Cyberpunk 2077. The debut of Cyberpunk 2077 was very rocky, thanks to several bugs and performance difficulties. But don't worry, most of the game's problems have been resolved, and developer CD Projekt Red has worked to improve the game's performance so that it's a more enjoyable experience overall. The Night City is the backdrop for the action-adventure role-playing game Cyberpunk 2077. Your character, V, is a renegade rock star having difficulty settling down in the harsh megalopolis of the Night City and making a name for themselves. Thanks to ray tracing, Night City has stunning aesthetics. So, what are you waiting for? Not to forget Sifu. Now, we agree, even though we were skeptical about it initially, but hear us out. When it first came out, Sifu was a Marmite game. Both sides had good arguments, explaining why some people loved it and others did not. Even if you don't like it, you must admit that the battle system, aesthetic, and overall notion of becoming older with each loss are all incredibly cool and original. It was satisfying to go from the bare-knuckle brawls of runs to the slick combinations and vicious beatdowns of gangsters, despite the game's rather high barrier to entry. Now that you've gotten a performance increase from Nvidia, you can beat up some bad guys while clad in all that RTX glory. We say you give it a try and then see. Up next, Doom. This aesthetic update for the original Doom from 1993 is serious business. The modification developed by Sulim enhances the PR boom source version of Doom by enabling real-time route tracing. It completely revamps the game's visuals, allowing you to experience the original Doom with stunning state-of-the-art lighting. Real-time lighting effects add a whole lot to the visual appeal of Doom and Quake, two games we like playing. Even in 2022, these old-school shooters' simplistic graphics and geometry stand out from the crowd, and the increased lighting helps to create a more immersive environment. In particular, the new update may sometimes make Doom appear downright eerie. That said, a reasonably robust PC is required to play these games with ray tracing enabled, because the technology is quite resource intensive and requires recent, fairly high-end GPUs. Let's talk about Resident Evil Village. When ray tracing is on, every scene has its visual style. Mirrors, liquids, and floors accurately reflect their respective backgrounds, whereas firelight casts softer shadows and has a warmer tone, and it looks stunning. Turning on ray tracing is demanding for your graphics card, particularly because Resident Evil Village does not use frame rate optimization tricks like Nvidia's DLSS gubbins. There is a ray tracing quality setting in the game's display menu, and thankfully, Capcom has made it seem fairly well. The stunning visuals add much more to the enjoyment of this game. When RTX is on, the world Ethan explores takes on a surreal beauty, lulling the player into a false feeling of security before ripping them to shreds. What's more, Wolfenstein Youngblood. So what do people get out of Wolfenstein getting ray tracing? Focusing on reflections, one of the hardest and most expensive ways to do RT, ray tracing support takes the lead. In this game, ray tracing is used instead of cube maps and in-game reflections all over the game. Like Control and Battlefield 5, this is like that. But that's not the only benefit. You can also see reflections of the game world that don't exist in screen space, like reflections of the player characters. Even though the scope of the implementation may seem small at first glance, it covers a lot more ground. We think you'll find out more once you play it for yourself. Ray-traced reflections show the material's properties more accurately and can be used for various things, like fixing lighting problems in rendering or bringing in off-screen reflections. In the default implementation of the ID Tech 6 game engine, screen space reflections are only allowed on highly reflective objects. Next, we have Minecraft. Minecraft's already one of the most played games, and adding ray tracing to it makes it even more impressive. The addition of ray tracing improves the visual quality of Minecraft's iconic bricks and foliage, topography, and water features. In Minecraft, you play as a survivor who must find food and materials to create weapons and a haven. There are many distinct kingdoms and biomes to explore, each with its unique set of monsters and resources. Perfect for the adventurous ones out there. Let's discuss Ring of Elysium. Using RTX technology elevates the already excellent Ring of Elysium Combat Royale to new heights. To make the genre more accessible, Battle Royale gamers use lower resolution, lower polygon visuals. But it's refreshing to see Ring of Elysium provide an option to enable ray tracing. It's a free-to-play game, so if you have an RTX graphics card, nothing stops you from giving it a go. Following up, Shadow Warrior 3. We're getting more crazy bonsai action from the Shadow Warrior franchise. This third installment took the demon-slaying chaos of the previous games, turned it up a notch, and put it through a rainbow filter, resulting in a jumble of cartoonish insanity. You play the part of Lo Wang, a famed assassin and action hero one-liner expert, as he battles an army of demonic foes that never seem to stop. Despite being much shorter than the previous games in the series, it makes up for it with a wide variety of brutal and visceral toys to play with, as well as a greater emphasis on flashy kills and ridiculous foes. Also, it's RTX compatible to experience the gory details in better resolution. Finally, Midnight Ghost Hunt. In Midnight Ghost Hunt, players don proton packs, grab EMF meters, and go to blast ghosts. A PvP online game with a chaotic blend of high energy and scary environments, this early access gem from Vaulted Sky Games combines elements from both Prop Hunt and Ghostbusters. The ghosts and the hunters are the two competing groups. When the witching hour arrives, the tables flip and the hunters are forced to flee in terror from supercharged specters. But before then, they employ their innovative equipment and weapons to dispatch the ghouls. A fresh coat of RTX paint has allowed Midnight Ghost Hunt to provide some impressive visual horrors while on the go. Make sure Nvidia Reflex is turned on in the game settings before you go out and start stomping on ghosts. Reflex may reduce system latency by as much as 40% when activated, providing more fluid and competitive gaming. That's a wrap for this video. Which of these games did you like the most with ray tracing? Let us know in the comments section below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.